Hello, ghosts and ghouls.
Welcome back to another episode of The Supernaturals.
What's up, everybody?
That's Kyle. I'm Jake.
We are back in the studio for what will be
Beta, baby.
our final look at this studio.
It's true. Very true. Very true. About to do a huge redecoration.
Yeah, we're going to get all... It's not the last episode of the season, by any means.
It's just the last episode of...
The basic standard stuff.
The September stuff.
Yeah. And then we'll get the Halloween stuff all set up for you guys. So it'll look really cool in here.
Exactly.
And festive. So, you know.
Fun.
Yeah.
A little fun. You almost sounded like Goofy there.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
What was that little thing you read about Goofy's head?
Yeah, I saw a picture on Instagram the other day, and it was like Goofy's head sold for like $150,000 or something in an auction. And then this guy tweeted back and goes, "Can't be that good."
You got a dad joke of the day?
No, there was one. I did see one that was really funny though. It was just a picture of Jason Momoa, and it was like he was, you know, riding a lawnmower or whatever, and it was like, "Hi, I'm Jason. This is Momoa." It's kind of funny.
That is pretty funny.
That's about it. That's all I got.
Interesting.
If you do want to see some dad jokes, go watch Alien Romulus, because that man was spitting. Andy. You know, this fucking arm, dude. It doesn't ever stay where I want it to stay.
Well, it's because you move it all the time.
Well, it should just at least stay where
it doesnn't stay. God damn it. Throughout the episode,
it should
he's just
at least stay where I want it to stay.
Yeah, well, now I fuck mine up.
See, because you were doing the joke. Now I bit you in the ass.
Yeah, true. I think that's pretty solid.
So today's episode, I am super stoked for because
yes,
it's all about spooky internet stuff,
spooky,
which I grew up on. So I get to, you know, we get to talk about some of the cool things that we all grew up with.
Some creepypastas,
and
not the food pasta.
No, not at all. Could go for some pasta though. I love pasta.
Me too.
Yeah.
We have shrimp. We can make some fettuccine.
Do we have that?
Yeah, I think we have another batch.
We have another shit, I was sitting here thinking about what I was going to make for dinner tonight.
We can make that.
Now I know. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy.
Hey, guys.
Be sure to like and subscribe, okay?
I don't want that to be us.
No,
even though sometimes we're like, fuck, what do we do?
You kind of have to.
I know.
It is weird. We definitely want you guys to, you know, like and subscribe if you can. But
I mean, if you want to follow our shit, you got to, right? Maybe
that's how we do it. Instead of being like, be sure to like and subscribe, we just go, hey, if you guys can, you know, maybe like and subscribe, that'd be really cool. I really appreciate it.
We just have to put like those, you know,
please.
Our commercial idea and the infomercial, like, you know, the ending, like, warning and side effects. Like, if you want to like and subscribe, please do.
The Supernaturals are not responsible for any serious.
But you got to put like and subscribe in there.
Yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. I can't even do that. I'd never be a good, auctioner or whatever.
Dude, they're crazy.
Sold
for $1,000 to this guy right here in the front.
What's the you were telling me about the wild thornberries or whatever, that kid.
I mean, that's it right there.
That's where auctioners, you know, I was sitting there, I was watching football, and I'm like, I want to do that when I get older. The auctioneers saw that kid, and they were like, I want to do that. Anyway, yeah, today's episode is going to be kind of fun. It's going to be a little spooky. We are going to show, Jesus, sorry. We're going to show some pictures. Some spooky pictures, because creepypastas are always accompanied with photos. So I think the first one
might not have one.
Yeah, we don't really need them because it's kind of just, you know, you'll get it, but it's an important creepypasta for the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. It's exciting. So if you are an audio listener, we'll obviously tell you what it is, what to look up, and you can look it up yourself, or, you can pop over to the video podcast, and we will have a little warning because they are pretty spooky and
very spooky.
It definitely gives you goosebumps. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It is crazy seeing like these pictures that I guarantee you that's why I'm not afraid of like any scary movie like nowadays.
Because there's way creepier things out there.
Well, it's like you realize that somebody can just like create something with a computer and a mouse that's way scarier than a movie studio with like a huge budget. It really is crazy. But yeah, I don't know. So let's dive into it.
Still the words right out of my mouth.
Let's dive into it, guys. Yeah.
Let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in. Like a rabbit. I'm sorry, that was fucking stupid. All right, well.
That's what I deal with on a daily basis.
Treachery. If you were like Jake and I, people who scour the internet in search of something that will send a chill up your spine, the word creepypasta might sound very familiar to you. If not, the simple version of what a creepypasta is, well, it's essentially a blog where people from all over can post horrifying stories ranging from mysterious beings to haunted experiments. Why would anyone want to read stories like this, you may ask? Well, if you are asking that question, you're probably listening to the wrong podcast because we fucking love those stories. We love horror. Anything that can freak us out, we're all about it. So
true.
For almost 3 decades, these creepypastas, they served as a good way to spend sleepovers with friends, camping trips around the fire, and even just the solo trip down the rabbit hole under a blanket on a crisp autumn evening. Today, the Supernaturals are going to take you through some of the most chilling creepypastas that exist, the ones that were spooky back then, the ones that spawned games and movies, and the others that unfortunately became a little too real.
Sorry, I was thinking about fall still.
We're getting there.
Oh, it's true.
Jake is going to tell us.
Stories with your friends was always such an entertaining night of fun.
Yeah. Well, I remember there was always that one story I would always tell every time I was doing a sleepover or whatever. We'd always be like, "Oh, let's tell scary stories." And
did you always grab a flashlight?
Yeah, there was
put
two
it on your face?
There was 2 main stories that I would tell, and they would almost always like freak people out. There was the one with the girl who goes to bed every night and lets her dog like lick her hand, like when she's under like she would just wake up and then just like reach her hand out. Yeah, and then you find out like the dog was dead, and like it was a guy like licking her hand or some shit. There's that one.
True.
And then the other one with the car broke down and the guy goes out to leave and she feels like a tapping on the car after like an hour or something. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she finally gets out and she finds out like the dude is hanging and his foot is like tapping the car. That shit was crazy too.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But when those stories would fail, I'm typing up creepypasta was good.
It's very true.
Always some crazy shit. So Jake is going to take us through a nice little story.
Very true. And started off, kickstarted a little bit. We got Ted the Caver.
Ted the Caver.
A story some may have started it all. Ted the Caver was essentially a bunch of blog posts of an Angel Fire website. The post began March 23rd, 2001 and went all the way until May 19th, 2001. The entries would follow a man named Ted and his friend B as they documented their journey through an unnamed cave in their hometown. As you might have guessed, things take a wrong turn and spooky things happen. Essentially what happens is these two spend a lot of time excavating the cave and they eventually come across a strange wind gust. The two decide to keep going down the strange pathway and they find hieroglyphics and other strange cave art. Apparently, they have heard some stuff and decided the next time they would enter the cave, they were going to bring a gun. But sadly, that was the final post in the blog. Because of this, it was believed among readers that Ted and B were killed by a supernatural being hiding in the cave. Now, The reason why this story was such a big deal was because it was the first blog post like this, which included real-time updates from Ted. It was also used a certain hyperlink to the photos where the site would slowly load pictures, building anticipation for what the photo would show. Although none of the photos were horrifying. They did feature chilling images of dark passageways and tight spaces, forcing your eyes to scour the entirety of the image, looking for something that lurked in the shadows. What did Ted the Caver spawn? Well, a bunch of other stories like it, some in the same format. It also influenced a low-budget horror movie that apparently nobody saw, but wasn't very good. But hey, we at the Supernaturals are all about giving a low-budget horror a shot. The movie is called Living Dark, the story of Ted the Caver.
We haven't seen it.
We have not seen it.
If you want to see it, that's what it's called. You can look it up. So, it's a thing. Maybe we'll watch it one night and who knows?
It's true. It's interesting though. Like just blog posting and then all of a sudden you stop blog posting and people are like, what the hell?
That's what gained the popularity,
I know.
And if you can see a bunch of the images that they posted. There's one, I think it's probably the most famous one, but it's his friend B. Like his feet, like you can see his feet, like he's crawling in like a super tight space. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe we'll find it and put it up, but if not, just look it up, Ted the Caver photos, and
True.
They'll all show up. But yeah, it was believed, I know, for a really long time that the posts kept getting, they started off so tame. Mm-hmm. And again, if you can follow the whole thing. I mean, it's all on Creepypasta. It's all, I think there's its own website too and stuff, but you can follow the whole thing, read all the blog posts and stuff. And it really does go from like kind of tame shit to pretty intense, like cryptic fucking posts. It's wild.
Completely.
So that's why they're like, oh, there's something in here. Mm-hmm. We need a gun. And then they are like, we're going to come back. We're going to shoot the video. We're going to, do whatever.
Talk about it and show you. And
then they never post it again. And so that's what everybody was like, what the fuck happened to Ted? Oh my God. So it spawned Creepypastas. That is technically the very first Creepypasta. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty
cool. An origin story though, mm-hmm. Like what if some guy just was like, what if we build all this hype and then just not post again?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true.
With people on the internet.
It's true. That's exactly.
You never know.
Yeah. It's true. And that's what.
And they're like, oh shit, we just created something crazy.
Yeah. So obviously Creepypastas evolved into narrative stories,
right.
Little urban legends, monsters, things like that. But it did start off with the blog post kind of real-time update thing. But the biggest part about why it was so popular was because of the images that came with it. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part about Creepypastas, especially when I was growing up.
It was all about the image.
The images. It was like you look at the image first.
And you go, oh shit.
You go, spooky. That's fucking horrifying. And then you'd read the story that came with it. And
right.
then, it's. So that wasn't always the case.
No.
It wasn't always the case. And I'm about to talk about my personal favorite creepypasta that is actually still being uncovered, like the origin itself, which is so wild. I'm getting freaking goosebumps right now thinking about it.
I keep telling you, dude, somebody, but us, need to make a movie about this. And dude, I think it could be so cool.
I know. So I will say
but it has to be done right.
It has to be done right. And I think the photo itself is something that I don't think you'd be able to probably do properly on camera, in my opinion. I think the photo itself is just horrifying. I don't know if you'd be able to like reciprocate that. But if you could,
it's a pretty nice detailed photo though. It is. It's not like
if you can pull that off without it looking fake as shit, dude, I am all for that because holy shit. What we are talking about next is my personal favorite, Jeff the Killer, everybody. And while, I was talking to my dad about this episode and I was talking to him at lunch. I was like, yeah, we're doing this whole thing about internet creepypastas and shit. And he's like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, it's... So then I was talking to him about it.
Well, maybe you should tune in.
I go, I'm doing this one on Jeff the Killer. My dad goes, Jeff the Killer? What is it? Does he have a buddy named Craig the Killer? Like
the Craigslist Killer.
I go, Dad, once you see this picture, man, you're not gonna be laughing. He's like, let me see it. And I straight up was like, all right. I showed him and he just looks at it and he goes, yeah, that's a freaky fucking photo. Like,
and
yeah,
we will insert the picture here.
Yes, we'll get to that in a second though. But yeah, we're gonna show you guys. It's fucking freaky, man. We'll give a warning before we show it because it is a haunting image. So it is my personal favorite creepypasta of all time. Before we get to the actual story, let's talk a little bit more about one of the most haunting images to ever be unleashed upon the internet. Again,
prepare yourselves.
If you haven't seen the image before, we're going to show it for our audio viewers. Obviously, you can look it up for yourself. But before you do, I'm going to describe the image to everybody so you can decide for yourself if you want to actually see it or not.
It's horrifying.
So the image is a close-up of a noseless face. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have a nose. A smile that stretches super wide. Jet black hair, snow white skin, and the face's eyes are open as wide as they can be because the face doesn't have any eyelids, just the balls. So just kind of, open windows to the soul of a monstrous being.
So true.
Visual. Skip ahead now if you don't want to see this image. I'm going to count it down. We're going to show it right here. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, look, it's Jeff the Killer in all his glory. Cool. All right, great. Yeah, he's a creepy motherfucker, isn't he? Well, that image itself has gained so much popularity in the horror community that it's hard to kind of not know who Jeff the Killer is. And if you don't know him by name or by story, you probably do know him by the image. So the story of Jeff, like I said before, it actually is a narrative. It's not a blog post or anything like that. It's actually not too bad either. I mean, it's not a bad story. It goes something like this. It begins with a 13-year-old Jeff and his family moving to a new town. And, him and his brother are just out hanging out. And they end up meeting 3 bullies at school. They're threatened with knives. Pretty much, they're going to get the shit beat out of them. But Jeff has a dark side that not a lot of people know. And he unleashes it upon the bullies. He beats the shit out of all of them. The cops show up and Jeff's brother actually decides to take the blame for it. So that's, that kind of gets to Jeff. He walks home one night guilty about, letting his brother take the fall. But then suddenly out of nowhere, the bullies come back. They ambush Jeff, tell him, we're going to fucking kill you for what you did. They had stalked him. They planned their revenge. This time they win. They pin him down and they use alcohol and bleach to permanently scar his face. Now, this is when things get pretty fucking dark. Jeff goes to he's at the hospital. He gets released and he goes home with his parents. And when they all go to bed, he stares at himself in a mirror for a very long time. He grows angry and disgusted by what he sees, and this causes him to snap psychologically. He grabs a knife, carves a permanent smile into his cheeks, and then actually burns his eyelids off so that he can always see his face and never turn away. That night, he silently kills his parents and his brother, telling them all to go to sleep, which becomes his catchphrase. So that's the, it kind of continues. Obviously that's just the origin. It kind of keeps going. Mm-hmm. But it's all just murder shit. He just goes on a murder spree. And apparently, according to the story, it just keeps going and going and going and going. So
it's crazy that he killed his brother.
Yeah, it is crazy. Right? It is crazy, right?
Like, this man took the fall for you. Uh-huh. You got threatened and destroyed by these bullies, but
yeah,
he was there for you and helped you.
Exactly.
And then you fucking kill him. It's just wild.
Yeah, so it's, not a good person, this Jeff, but
burning your eyelids off just to always see your face.
I know, it's fucking crazy. So, yeah, it's a wild story. I think if somebody made a movie about it, I would watch the shit out of it. I mean, it'd be dark and probably it would leave like a horrible feeling in your stomach. Kind of like how I would imagine Joker, like Joker did. Mm-hmm. It left you with that like, Jesus Christ. I know. Kind of like a
really
shitty feeling.
Went through the ringer.
Yeah. So I think Jeff the Killer, a movie about Jeff the Killer's origin would probably be the same way. So I don't know.
If told right.
If told right, I think they could pull that off. Mm-hmm, but the legend of Jeff actually goes a lot deeper, though. We're going to take a deeper look into the real life lore of Jeff the Killer. Many people speculated as to where the image came from. Well, the internet sleuths discovered the image was created actually long before the story. Way before the story, which actually is fucking terrifying to think about.
So someone just made the picture.
Somebody made the story and basically fit the story around the image of Jeff the Killer. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we don't even know if the image's name was really Jeff the Killer. I know it was before the story. People found that somebody named Killer Jeff posted that picture and claimed the picture was a portrait of themselves, like a personal image, but there wasn't really anything else more than that. So that's where everybody thinks the one guy who made the story got the name Jeff the Killer. Mm-hmm. But it goes further. Weirdly, somebody found the image of Jeff the Killer on a Japanese message board. Just a fleeting glimpse of the image was seen here way back in 2005. That was the furthest it's gone. Like, that's where they found it. It was actually crazy. You can look up the little video where somebody went to the message board and you see these like pictures of these normal people. And sure enough, just in the middle of it, there's fucking the Jeff the Killer image, which is creepy as fuck.
You're just on the internet and you're just like, it's an interesting photo.
Yeah, exactly. So then the image was actually seen again 2 years later in 2007 at a Japanese YouTube video with the words "good night" underneath it, which could be the origin of the "go to sleep" catchphrase. So pretty fucking crazy. The actual origins of Jeff the Killer, like the image, are unknown. And the creepypasta itself has gained so many fans that the actual story of Jeff the Killer is not agreed upon by many of them. So if you guys are Jeff the Killer stans and you're pissed that I'm telling that story, that's the most famous one. And you know it is. So don't get mad. Don't get mad, okay? There are actually multiple origin stories of Jeff. Some are longer than others. Some are better than others. But one thing is for certain, the haunting image of Jeff wasn't meant for any of these stories, which begs the question, who was the photograph of and what was the reason it was taken and altered to look the way that it does?
Yeah, it's wild. I
have a feeling we're going to find out at some point. This has become like it's a current thing that people are trying to figure out.
And we're also bringing it back to light too. Yeah. So
I hope the mystery gets unsolved. I think it'd be super cool to figure that out. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, it is weird to think like, okay, maybe, you think the picture is of the, it's with the story, right? It's
right. Exactly.
But finding out that the picture was before the story makes it scarier, actually. Oh, because you don't know where the picture came from. Who is that? Like, what? It's crazy, dude. So there's Jeff the Killer, everybody.
It's so chilling.
Should we show the picture again? I'm just kidding.
Oh, watch out.
Jump scare.
Bing.
It's just, we fill the whole screen with it.
Just zooms in on it.
No, we're not going to do that to you guys.
Would be funny though.
It would be absolutely hilarious, but we'd get a lot of hate comments for that shit. They'd be like, "You fuckers!" Yeah. Oh man, happy Halloween! All right, man. Why don't you tell us the story?
Yes,
this one is famous. They do have a picture. We don't say anything about the image, but it's kind of funny. There's an image of this fucking freaky looking thing. And turns out that it's actually just an animatronic at Spirit Halloween. So we like doctored it and made it like black and white and shit. So there's that. So this
It's like
next one.
Animatronic, all the freaking like.
Yeah, pretty much. So it is an animatronic. So that the image of this one, we can put it up, but it's really not that cool.
The Russian sleep experiment.
One of the most famous fucking creepypastas, bro.
It's true. The Russian sleep experiment is one of the most famous creepypastas of all time. This is largely due to the belief factor of it. Many people speak of this as a true story as opposed to the actual origins. And honestly, we've seen some pretty fucked up Russian shit on this podcast already. So this story actually happening? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. The story goes a little something like this. In 1947, the Russian government took 5 individuals and put them in a chamber. They were political prisoners and declared enemies of the state, and the government was going to be conducting an experiment with a new form of gas. The gas itself was designed to keep the men awake. The government wished to see how the human body would react without sleep. And so these men were supposed to be in the chamber for 30 days. The cell held a toilet, cots, books, running water, and enough food to last all 5 men up to a month. The prisoners were promised that they would be given their freedom, but obviously that was not true. Well, the first 5 days went well. The men talked about their lives, read books, pretty much just went through days like it was nothing. But after the 5-day mark came and went, the prisoners became paranoid. They stopped talking to one another, constantly whispering and conspiring against the other subjects to themselves or the small porthole-sized window of the chamber. Then day 9 hit. One of the men started screaming at the top of his lungs. This continued for 3 straight hours until the man tore his vocal cords and nothing but small squeaks came out. That would be so brutal to watch.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
You're just sitting there and this man starts screaming and just like clawing at his throat and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
Then another man started to scream that night, doing the exact same thing. And the other men who weren't screaming tore books apart and began rubbing their feces on the pages, plastering them to the porthole holes so the scientists couldn't see inside. Shortly after, not a single sound came from that chamber. Absolute silence on the microphones. 3 more days had gone by, still no sound. But the oxygen levels of the chamber stated the men were still alive. On the morning of day 14, the researchers decided to use the intercom inside the cell. They had said they were not going to do this, but they wished to see if they could get a response from the men in hopes that they were not dead. They announced, "We are opening the door to test the microphones. Stay down on the ground and away from the door or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of your immediate freedom." But a voice replied from the chamber, "We no longer wish to be free." They decided at midnight on day 15 that they were going to open the door. They turned the gas off, but the silence in the chamber erupted into pleading. The prisoner begged for them to turn the gas back on. They begged like they were about to watch their family die. Once the soldiers opened the door, they were met with screaming by the remaining subjects. And what a horrifying sight to see. One of the prisoners was lying dead, with chunks of meat and limbs missing. Pieces of him clogged the drain, causing blood-red water to be about ankle high. The rest of the prisoners had all chunks of muscle and skin ripped off of them. Now this goes into way more disgusting details in the story. Things like how their guts were ripped out of them and laid across the floor, still digesting their own meat and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and skip all that. Okay? Apparently, the soldiers were tasked with removing the prisoners, but it wasn't happening without a fight. One soldier had his throat ripped out. Another had his balls torn off. And another had his artery in his leg severed. 3 more soldiers committed suicide in the nights that followed. In the struggle, one of the prisoners died after losing so much blood. But the other 3 were taken for surgery. Each one demanded that the gas be put back on so they could stay awake. One begged to be on nothing during surgery so he could feel the pain. Another continued horrifying eye contact and smiled at the doctor the entire time. But the struggling stopped when the researchers decided they would put them back in the gas. But the 2 prisoners ended up dying. The last one was taken to a spot where the KGB officer was going to shoot and kill him. Before doing that, he asked the man, "Who are you?" The prisoner gave a chilling response. "Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go into the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." And then the officer shot and killed him.
Yeah.
Guys,
What
a story.
Yeah.
Driven to madness. And then you want to keep staying awake.
I think that story, like, whoever made that, they fucking killed it. Because it is crazy. And I know, actually, for a really long time, I didn't know it was a creepypasta. I remember watching YouTube videos and
yeah, well, you were talking to me about it.
Yeah, and we actually had a couple people hit us up and say, "We want you guys to talk about the Russian sleep experiment." And I was like, "That's a creepypasta, though." Like, we'll talk about it for sure, but it's unfortunate. Well, I don't think it's unfortunate that it's not real, but it is crazy because I think the belief factor it's a real thing in that.
Like, it could have happened.
Well, I mean,
could happen.
Think about it when you're awake for, I don't know if you guys have ever been awake for like 2 days, but
you start getting delirious.
Yeah, you start seeing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're up for like 9 hours, 9 days, like in a row, like I don't think the human body can handle that.
No.
You definitely
need sleep.
Don't know what is reality and what is fake and things like that. So
start to dream with your eyes open.
Literally, man. Yeah. So I honestly,
Nightmare on Elm Street type shit.
I could totally see that shit happening. 100%. Like, I don't know if, you turn into like a superhuman monster or anything when you whatever. But I mean, dude, some crazy shit probably happens.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Like the screaming thing, that I could totally see that happening. I could see you, like ripping your guts out and shit. I could see that. I could totally see you doing that. You're just like,
you're probably
people
like
itch,
something's,
like a
something's
nervous itch
inside of me.
Yeah. I could totally see that. Now
you're like trying to get it out and you're ripping your skin off.
Yeah.
Oh
now,
my gosh.
Are you going to be alive while you're doing that? Probably not.
Right, yeah.
But it is crazy. I also, if you guys want to read the story, it's all on the Creepypasta website. Mm-hmm. It is worth a read. It's kind of long. I mean, it's a long, I think it's 80 minutes to read through the whole thing, but there's a lot of graphic stuff. I was like, okay, we need to kind of like show, we need to show a little bit of what happened. So the gut thing with the,
but we don't want to get too in depth.
Hell no, that's so foul.
Yeah.
God.
Once again, if you want to read any of these stories, they are found on that Creepypasta website. Pretty easy to search. So if you're interested and want to continue your research and dive into more than what we talk about, it's a great place to start.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about people ripping their guts out and stuff, and there's them still working, please read the Creepypasta website. No, I think I really do like the Creepypasta. Like, the reason why I really like them is because they're so creative.
They are.
People can really let their creative minds
because there's no
flourish.
Limitation, right?
No, there's not. You can do whatever you want.
Yep.
We'll talk more about the community later, but the community are actually all really good people, and it's
like sharing fucked up stories.
Yeah, but it's crazy though because it really is like the horror community where we like to see all this shit like fictionalized. You know, we all chase that sense of adrenaline, that sudden rush of fright.
Yet people hate you online if you like watching fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of other movies have fucked up shit.
Yeah, we were just talking about Terrifier 3. They just released the full-length trailer a little bit ago.
We liked it.
Oh, it looks so good. We already got tickets and everything. But apparently Damien Leone is getting attacked by certain people right now on Twitter or some shit because there's a scene in the trailer where it looks like Art the Clown is gonna kill a kid or something. And they're like, if you watch this movie or want to watch this movie knowing this happens, then you're fucked up and you should get help. Block me now because I don't want to talk to you. It's like,
so outrageous.
Get blocked, fool. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know why. If
it's a fictional movie.
It's a fictional thing. And also, dude, kids have been getting offed on movies like since I was born.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, Georgie gets fucked up, Chief.
Like, and even some of the kids get fucked up. They
The
don't
Walking
die.
Dead.
Yeah,
Kids.
exactly.
The first walker that you see in The Walking Dead is a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Also, these kids are getting paid to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like if I was, believe me, if I was a kid,
yeah,
I'd be like, bro, if you're paying me this much money, you can fuck me up.
It's true. It's true.
Nah, I don't know, dude. I think when you do kill kids, like in movies and shit,
There's a sense of they're not fucking up around at all.
no,
You know?
it does increase the threat, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna do this to this character.
Yeah, because most like horror movie villains, I would say, have a little bit of a code, right, where they don't kill
Certain people.
Oh, there's that scene from the Halloween movie when it's the one shot of Michael walking through just killing like 3 people in a row, like in the house. But then there's that baby crying and he walks over to the crib and you're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then he just walks away and you're like, whew.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Art the Clown would be like, throw the kid like a football or some shit. And you know, you're sitting there and you'd be like, oh shit, like fuck, man. You know, it's just
like he has no feeling.
It's not like you enjoy watching it. It's not like, hell yeah, let's watch this shit. But it's like it's a part of the genre. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
and it's just a movie.
Yeah, it's just a movie. That's what I'm saying. So again, back to the community of the creepypastas and stuff. They're like us, where we like that sense of, you know, that what horror gives you.
It's thrill, right? You're
Exactly.
seeking thrill and horror, like to scare you.
Yeah. But when things get real, which we'll discuss later, it's, you know, it doesn't, like they come together and they try to say, you know, that's not what we're about. We're not about. It is interesting. You know, I know people probably from the outside looking in are like, oh, it's the same shit. But it's not, you know, and if you like horror, you know, it's not.
You want to strike fear, not drive in physical and mental insanity in real life.
100%. And so, yeah, I don't know. But that's why I can watch movies like Texas Chainsaw and be like, yeah, fuck them up, you know, all day, every day. But the second I watched the show like Dahmer, where they're using, you know, the real victims and things like that and how they actually died, that doesn't make you feel good.
No.
You know, because
not at all.
You know that it happened. It was a legit thing. So it is crazy.
Yeah, fiction and real life, right? It's most of us can tell the difference. And when you're watching something that's fictional, you don't feel anything. You're just like, this is a nice movie, whatever. But as soon as it becomes real life, it's just a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we have 2 more creepypastas for you guys. And unfortunately, this one is going to hit you right in the nostalgia button.
Sorry to ruin your favorite show.
Yeah, this, obviously I've talked about SpongeBob before on the podcast because of my ex-girlfriend and I used to watch that. And it was funny because we actually got to this episode and I think I said, Like, I'm good. Like, I don't like, let's skip this episode. She was like, why? And I'm like, let's just skip it. It's not a good one. I don't really like this one. And she's like, okay. Never told her the real reason.
Yeah. Why did you skip it, Cal?
So today, I know some of you guys are probably thinking I'm going to talk about Suicide Squidward. That's not the one. I'm not talking about that one. That's another creepypasta. And that one is crazy. But this one's a little spookier, in my opinion. We're going to be talking about the SpongeBob bootleg episode today. This one is also featured. It's a fucking freaky photo. It's a freaky fucking photo.
It literally gave me chills.
I go, hey Jake, look at this. Isn't this crazy? He gets up, he's like, it's SpongeBob. Like, it's not good at. And then he looks at it and he goes, yeah, that's freaky. So that sucks for you. You're the one who has to take the images and put them in the video. Woo,
I know.
tough.
I have to look at them for more than 30 seconds.
That's tough, bro.
All of a sudden I come back next episode and you're like, Jake, are you okay? I got bags under my eyes. I'm like, bro, I haven't slept.
I see it everywhere I go. So yeah, this one's going to kick you right, or kick your childhood right in the ass. I mean, it is, man. So the story itself is actually pretty short and straightforward. Basically, these 5 teenagers are dumpster diving and they come across a VHS tape. They return home, they get high, they just chill out, they put the VHS in, and they discover that it was the SpongeBob episode Dumped, which is the one where Gary leaves SpongeBob for Patrick. Mm-hmm. I also didn't like that episode even before I just wasn't a fan, you know, and then you find out that he had like food or something on him and that was why, or some
Gary? Gary, where are you?
Yeah. I like the one episode where he's like, the Gary come home.
Yeah.
That's a bop, dude.
Yeah.
So these guys are all just chilling, you know, having a good time, whatever. But about midway through the episode, the audio distorts, colors flash, and black screens appear. But the group continues to watch as it just seemed like, you know, maybe it was a shitty VHS tape. That is until it stops on a single frame, which displays a horrifying image of SpongeBob without a mouth and blood red, almost human-like eyes. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. The image is pretty fucking scary. It
is.
Definitely sends chills up everybody's spine. For our audio listeners, you'll have to look the image up if you want to see it. But for our visual listeners,
caution.
We will show you the haunting image in 2 seconds. Skip forward if you do not wish to have your childhood ruined. 3, 2, 1. Oh, creepy image of SpongeBob. And we're good. Scary, right? Well, the worst part is how that story actually ends. Apparently, of the 5 teenagers, 2 of them committed suicide. One of them checked into a mental institution. One has gone missing, but the final one gave the tape over to a paranormal investigative team. But that is how the story ends. There's no word as to where the tape is, what happened to the team, who the individuals were who even found the tape in the first place. And while it is a chilling story, you know, the image itself is really what makes that whole story scary for me. I mean, it is. When I was a kid, like I was saying, I was horrified by the picture. Mm-hmm. And it genuinely scared me from watching that episode. I actually just did a SpongeBob rewatch fucking, I don't know, last year or some shit. I usually watch like, you know, a show that I've already watched 100 times on my lunch breaks. Mm-hmm. And I just a pastime. Just a pastime, literally. And so I watched SpongeBob and fucking literally that episode came on and I was like, yeah, all right, past that one. So yeah, when I was a kid, I do remember.
Have you watched it since?
No. I haven't. It's not genuinely out of fear, but it is also like there's just a part of me that, again, like I said, I don't really like the episode. Mm-hmm. SpongeBob has some bangers and that one was just never really a good one for me. I didn't really like, because Patrick was a dick in that episode.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. Mm-hmm. You know, so I was just like, ugh. And then
it's like a filler episode, really.
I mean, isn't all SpongeBob a filler episode? There's not like a main storyline, right?
There's not.
So I don't know. But yeah, I didn't really like that episode. So that was that. And then I basically, when I was a kid and I saw that episode, I would immediately switch to Cartoon Network.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I would watch something else, but there is one thing about the image that is spread among viewers. It is said that if you stare at the image long enough, SpongeBob will blink. Creepy.
Have you tried it?
No, I actually will say the funniest thing is the top comment on the Creepypasta website. The top comment says, "I won the staring contest." So, pretty funny. But yeah, there's that. So,
I kind of want to stare at the image.
dude, well, I think you will when you're putting the fucking images in there.
Like, Cal, it blinked. He blinked.
Yeah, so there's... Okay, I was just making sure that was that episode. Sorry. Because part of me was like, was Dump the one with the eels and escalators? But I was like, no, it's the one with the when they start swearing.
Escalators.
Eels. That's the one where they do the they start swearing like dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's funny.
It is.
So, all right. Well, there's that one.
That one is, it's wild.
Jump scare.
You need to hit the button.
Gotcha. No, because they would have seen that shit. No, I was gonna say like, throw the image in their face again. Oh shit!
Just do a hard cut to you. Just like,
just Dan. SpongeBob.
Well,
we show them an actual video of SpongeBob, or like just a regular picture of SpongeBob. Dude, that might freak people out. We just like, I do the jump scare thing, and then we show a picture of like SpongeBob jellyfishing or some shit. So then they're like, they freak out. That'd probably be super funny. Man.
Oh, the next one spawned a lot.
Yeah, it did.
You know,
a lot. So
a lot of movies, other stories, video games. You know,
the whole shebang.
Real life incidents. Like it did it all. Well, who are we talking about?
Why are the lights white?
Because this man has no face. No face.
His face kind of looks like these lights, if we're being honest.
It's just a cloth. We're talking about Slenderman.
Yep.
Probably the most known creepypasta of all time. Slenderman is a horribly tall being that wears a suit and tie and has a blank white face. Some iterations of the character have Slenderman being able to open a frightening venom-like mouth. He also has tentacles that come out of his back. So what is the story behind the spooky-looking creature? Well, there really isn't one set one. In fact, Slenderman was an image posted to a site by Eric Knudsen. Knudsen.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Pronunciation is wrong.
You're good. I'm just, yeah.
And it only featured cryptic quotes, not a narrative or story like many others. After the image gained popularity, different stories from various users came out, almost always featuring the nameless character talking about the Slenderman chasing them. During this chase, they would find notes. The idea quickly picked up popularity, and an indie video game was released where the player would be equipped with a flashlight, have to walk around the woods and find these pages, all while being hunted by Slenderman. Now, I've played that game, and I know you have too.
100%.
You have to play it with headphones.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, you got to play it with headphones because you hear static, you know, the Slenderman sounds.
Yep.
You see him walking towards you.
Yep.
He's always around the bushes. And then you're just like, getting these pages is quite easy.
You
and then
turn
all of a
around
sudden,
that one time and just, you're like, oh, fuck.
You start running away and you're just like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then you get caught and he grabs the camera and just like shows his face and then it just like cuts.
Yeah, he gets your ass.
That's the game.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now, I don't know anyone that's beat it.
I have.
You do?
Yeah.
You've
I've actually beaten it.
Oh, I haven't beaten it.
The original game, yeah, I've beaten it. You get
Wasn't
all
there
8
different
pages.
levels too?
As far as I know,
Because
but I know they came out
the
with
Woods one.
They came out with different games.
Okay.
I think there was a different level. There was one that was like a trailer park or some shit.
I thought there was another level.
Yeah,
because there was the Woods.
Yeah,
with the crazy bathrooms.
The main Woods one, yeah, with the bathrooms and shit. Yeah, I beat that one. I don't think I played any of the other ones. I think I did play the one with the. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was a trailer park. I think it was. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
I can't remember, but I thought there was another version, like another like level.
There
that
was
you could do.
another game I know. They came out with a couple of more games. Like other people tried making their own Slenderman games and stuff. And I watched PewDiePie play those. It was fun. So, yeah, the game is crazy.
It's true.
The game came out when I was in middle school, and I had a robotics lab. And I remember that the majority of the time we would finish our stuff before class ended. So we'd get like 20 minutes of computer time. And a lot of people would play Minecraft. But then as soon as Slender came out, I remember, dude, we were always playing Slender. Everybody was trying to play Slenderman. Just like in the computer lab. It was pretty cool. It was cool. That was my experience with it. So
The game was a hit for a little bit, for sure.
yeah, it was. It was. It definitely was.
Many of these stories featured an aspect in which seeing the Slenderman would make you crazy and would force you to commit suicide. Since Slenderman became so popular, this part of the lore is often censored now due to the belief that it incites violence after certain events that could be traced back to the creepypasta.
Yeah, which is what we're going to talk about next. So, yeah, I mean, again, these stories are just meant to scare you. They're not meant to incite violence in any way.
Right, they're just a story.
It's kind of the same thing with like video games, right? When everybody's like, "Oh, Call of Duty is bad,
It's like,
and it's going to make
You're
people."
like, people just are shooting other people. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're just playing a video game.
Yeah, and also I would actually argue that it's better to do it in a video game, right? Like you would rather have that than the alternate. And it's just,
Well, of course.
I mean, dude, when I was going through breakups and stuff, I was going on to like GTA and just like, you know, running people over.
Yeah.
It ended up turning into like Mortal Kombat. And I was just, dude, I hit some of the nastiest combos after a breakup. You have no idea. I put on like heavy metal music and I'm just like, and you're just like fatality. Every single fucking dude I'd play online, dude, they would get fucked up. Oh man, that was fun. But yeah, my point is, just because there's like, I guess, media out there that's dark in nature, it doesn't mean that it's gonna spawn something dark. You know what I mean?
That's not the intent, right?
No, not at all. And again, I think it's better to have this shit because then it kind of creates an outlet for people who are struggling mentally and stuff, you know?
Well, 100%. It's like, oh, yeah, I can go, release some anger or just frustration and play a video game.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, just enjoy your time playing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. That's my take. But now we're going to talk about the incident that really, I mean, I don't know, dude. This shit was fucked up. So this is Creepypasta gone wrong, pretty much. It is known as the Slenderman Stabbing. On May 31st, 2014, the town of Waukesha, Wisconsin, had a quiet morning.
It's always the fucking Midwest.
I know. It's crazy. But the constant sounds of birds singing, smell of coffee brewing, and the whisper of trees flowing together in a crisp late spring breeze. 3 12-year-old girls were walking through the woods, talking and enjoying each other's company. One of the girls, Peyton, had met the other girls in the 4th grade. She remembered seeing Morgan sitting by herself, and she approached her because she didn't want Morgan to be alone anymore. She met Anissa through Morgan, but she recalled feeling a sense of jealousness from the girl, one which never faded. As Peyton took in the sights of the heavily forested area, Morgan and Anissa thought it would be a good idea to play hide and seek. But after a short time, the game became a nightmare for little Peyton. Morgan and Anissa found and tackled her to the ground, pinning her down. They then took a 5-inch long knife and proceeded to stab Peyton 19 times in the torso, legs, and arms. 2 major organs were punctured, and 1 stab wound actually missed an artery by less than a millimeter. After they were done, they told Peyton to stay there on the ground as they would find help. But they did not. Peyton had no choice but to take matters into her own hands. Bleeding, she crawled her way to a nearby road where a cyclist found her and called the police. Doctors operated for 6 hours, repairing the damage that they had done. During this time, Anissa and Morgan were actually found by police about 5 miles away from where they stabbed their friend. They were, in fact, still carrying the knife, and both girls were apprehended and taken in. When asked about where they were going, they said that they were headed to the Nicollet National Forest, which was 200 miles away from where they were, to meet Slenderman at his home, which they called Slender Mansion. During their interviews, they weren't accompanied by any adults other than the investigators. It was said that Anissa showed signs that she felt guilty after the attack. It was said, though, that Morgan, however, was completely emotionless and said the attack was necessary to appease Slenderman. Fuck. That's some crazy shit. So Eric Knudsen, the creepypasta, the guy who made the Slenderman, the creepypasta site itself and the community of the site all released statements on the incident, each one claiming that inciting violence is not the point of these stories, rather than that the site is used for literary purposes, offering short, scary stories for people. Mm-hmm. Creepypasta members even hosted live streams on YouTube in which they would raise money for Peyton. Madison, Wisconsin held a hot dog festival to honor Peyton, and it raised $70,000 to help pay for her medical bills.
That's awesome.
Morgan was set to 40 years to life in a mental institution since her mental health has all but deteriorated since the attack. Anissa was sent to 25 to life in a mental institution, but was released after 7 years, only to have constant supervision until she turns 37 years old.
Wow.
So, as for Peyton, fucking trooper, man. That's a fighter right there. She went on to do an interview talking about the event. She talked about her scars and how she doesn't think much of them, and also about her relationship with the other two girls before the attack. When Peyton was asked what she would say or do if she ever saw Morgan again, she went on to say that she would actually thank her. She said that because of everything that happened, she decided to pursue a career in medicine. And last we've heard, Peyton left Waukesha and went to college.
Good for her.
Obviously, this event showed the chilling potential for these internet horror stories. Many believe stuff like this should be taken down from the internet and banned forever. I, again, as we said, totally disagree, because this Morgan girl could have seen Texas Chainsaw and done the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
She was obviously unwell mentally, and the focus should be on the warning signs of this kind of behavior instead. I believe that if your child seems a little bit off, you as the parent need to do something about it. Keep in contact with the teachers and the people who spend a lot of time with them, because getting your child the help that they need can stop them from harming somebody else.
Totally.
So I think that's a big
and you always
thing.
like in serial killers, mass shooters, you always are like someone saw something at some point in their life.
And they didn't say anything.
Right, correct. And you just need to. Like, it kind of sucks because you kind of feel guilty about like almost tattling on them, right? Yeah. But at the same time, like, you could be saving so many people from harm. And I think that's huge.
I'll say a story really quick, but there was one time I was at work, and I work outside, and, inside, outside stuff. And I was in the parking lot taking an order out, and this guy walks by, big dude, and I was talking to the customer, and he was like, he said something as I was like saying, okay, like, have a good day to the customer. Fucking the guy goes, I was like, what's that? Like, as I'm walking by, and he's carrying this big, like, briefcase with him. And I was like, what's that? And he was just like, I had to walk all the way around the store. Didn't know there was a way through. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Dude seemed off. Like, I mean, off. And what a weird comment. Like, fuck if I know. I was like, you can kind of tell, like, you see somebody and you're like,
that's not normal behavior.
A little off. So I went inside and I told my manager, I was like, yep, just letting you know, dude outside, don't really know. I don't think anything has to happen, but I'm just like, letting you know. Come to find out, that same guy went into the women's bathroom and laid down under all three stalls. Like, he stretched from like all three stalls and just like passed out. Yeah.
Weird.
I know, is that crazy? They had to like kick him out of the store and shit. It was crazy. So he definitely didn't have good intentions, that's for sure, but weird. So if you see something, you got to report it.
Say something.
Yeah. If you see something, say something. That's that. I mean, that's facts, man.
It's cliche, but it is true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like,
it's fucking true.
that's why when we always go to movies, they're like, if you see suspicious activity,
report that shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You got to say something, man. It's crazy. So a lot of these people just need help, and they just don't have the help. So then they do crazy shit because nobody's helped them.
Right. No.
So, we're going to end today's episode talking about
Slenderman.
Slenderman. Yeah. Except this time it's the movie.
Yep. We just watched it.
Both of us have not seen it before. We were like, you know what? Since we're talking about Slenderman, we should probably talk about the movie that came out, the Sony Pictures one.
You know, from the trailer, we were like, honestly, this movie doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, looks like it had decent, you know, cinematography and stuff like that. There was
the story was interesting from the trailer, and we're like,
a little
okay.
trippy.
Yeah. And we're like, well, we know Joey King.
Yeah, Joey King, she's good. Yeah, she was the best part of the movie.
She was.
Her acting. Yeah, there's a reason why she's the only actor in that movie that has done something.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, you know, so from everything that we could see in the movie.
Yeah, one thing when we were watching, I mentioned to Cal, I'm like, dude, this movie is really dark.
It's fucking
he
dark.
was like, I think that was like intentional. I'm like, maybe, but dude, like you can't see anything like at all. I was like, bro, you need some light on your subject.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the viewer's going to know it's darkness, but you can't, when it's just pitch black and they're running through a forest and you're like, well, this is cool. I'm hearing branches break and they're running into shit.
That one scene, I couldn't see shit.
Might as well just close your fucking eyes.
I was getting a headache because I was trying to like, what are they doing? I can't fucking see. What?
It would have been better just to shut my eyes and be like, I hear 3 bells.
Yeah. Also, I think there is like one main story of Slenderman like that people enjoy on the Creepypasta site.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were pissed at the movie because they didn't follow along with anything that they did. I mean, he was like a tree in the movie and shit. Like, that's not a thing. And like, I guess the only thing was that he took kids.
I mean, I understood the tree thing because like the tree would act like his like, tentacle, like extra limbs and stuff. But it just was not good.
No, it
had so much potential though.
I will say it could have been good.
Yeah.
It could have been good. It seems like, it was given a pretty decent sized budget. I mean, the cinematography, for what I could see, was pretty good.
Yeah.
There were some cool shots. There was some trippy shots. There was, some stuff like that. But I think the acting was porn level. The story was just not it.
The design of Slenderman was good.
The Slenderman itself, like, he was pretty decent. I liked the one scene when he goes up to Joey King in the library and he like just looks at you, like get to see him, and he puts his long ass fingers like on her face. Like, that was cool.
And then she had like no face.
I didn't like that.
I
liked everything up to that point. And then I hate when like a person doesn't have a face, because it's just like it's like where did it go?
Where's your face?
Where did it go? Like, I can see like, okay, if Slenderman didn't have a face, right? Like, he already doesn't have a face.
Yeah.
And then the iterations of the character where he does have a mouth, like I could see the face like splitting open and like doing a mouth. But like when you already have a face and then you don't have a face, and she was sounding like she was trapped under like a layer of skin.
Yeah.
It's just like, that didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't work for me, but.
Just an interesting movie.
I will say the
Abercrombie?
fucking dialogue was so ass. The movie literally ended with, you know.
And there were just lines in there that Cal and I were like, why are these even in here?
My favorite fucking line. I thought about it and I was like, I'm going to say this on the pod, because that was, what the fuck was that? They were sitting by the computer, like trying to look up the Slenderman shit, which I actually thought that was kind of a cool aspect. Like the whole watch the video, like the video was cool.
The video was good.
The first 5 minutes of the movie, I was like, not bad. It's not bad. And then it's just like, you don't see the rest. Right. It's so fucking dark. Right. But no, they're sitting by the computer. They're trying to like do some shit. And they go, did you see something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. Like the girl who asked, "Did you see something?" says, "I don't know either." Like, yeah, of course you fucking don't know. Like,
it was such a pointless line, and then the scene was over, and you're like,
yeah, that just ended. And you're like,
why was that even in there?
oh, okay. No.
It would have been just creepier if it just ended with, "Did you see something?" and then just cut to the next scene.
What did you see? Well, it was like a middle. It was like, what did you see? Like, did you see something? And then if they're just like, I did, then it's just, oh fuck, okay, like wow, that's supposed to be in the movie.
I don't know.
But then it's like,
I don't know either.
I don't know. Let's do it. Did you see something?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That doesn't make sense. And then next scene.
Does that work for you? I don't think so.
I don't think it works at all. I found that line so funny too. I don't know. That movie wasn't good, but
no,
like at all. Like it really wasn't good.
It is short, which was nice, but it did feel long. God.
That's how you know it's a bad movie. When a movie's only an hour and a half and you're sitting here like, okay, how much fucking more time do we have? I paused it to go to the bathroom, just like take a leak, and then it was like
45
there's still
minutes.
40 minutes left. Jake's like, I thought we were getting to the end. What the hell? Yeah, that's how you know it's not a good movie.
Oh yeah. But, someone's take on Slenderman. And there was apparently another one, like a more found footage movie.
Okay, that shit was on like a $10 budget. I would rather watch that, like the one we just watched, than that one.
Yeah, that one did not look good.
I like indie movies and things like that, but you can tell from certain trailers, it looks like a school project, and you're just like, I don't think I want to.
Sometimes when it's so bad, it can be good, but that was not one of them.
Yeah, I was trying to at least watch like the bigger budget one, I guess, because it
did have a big budget.
It looks more appealing to the eye, I guess. Yeah. And then I found out that, you couldn't see half the movie. And so then it was just like, oh, okay, for
appealing to what?
Appealing to, I guess, I don't know. It was
People
crazy because
that can see in the dark, clearly.
It was funny because even the day shots they were like dark.
Yeah.
And you're just, isn't there supposed to be a sun? Like
the sun was weird. Like, they kept showing the cloud shots, and that was really dark. It was like, how much of a filter is on this camera? Jeez,
it definitely felt like you just could like flip up the thing and be like, here we go. All right. Nah, this is the movie. Okay.
You know what would be funny is the director is like looking at the final edit. They're like trying to get it out on time. He's like, this fucking sucks. They're like, well, we guess we got to put it out.
Dude, we got a release date here in the next couple of months. We got to get this shit out to theaters.
It's like, it's dark.
Let's do it.
Brighten it up. They brighten it up. It starts getting like really grainy. They're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, no time to reshoot.
Well, Sony, in typical Sony fashion, just cut a bunch of scenes from the trailer.
Yes.
There was a scene where one of the girls, and we watched the trailer beforehand because we were like, okay, what are we getting into? And she takes like a scalpel and she fucking like stabs herself in the eye. And in the movie, that's nowhere to be found. And the last you see of the girl, she's got bags under her eyes, and then you don't see her again.
She starts writing him on the mirror. Is that not? That was in the trailer.
That was also in the trailer, and then that wasn't in the movie
at all.
And then you see again, so she stabs herself in the eye, and you think, okay, she's gonna die, right? Like that's probably how that girl dies. But then in the movie, the last you see of her is that she's got the bags under her eyes, like they know she's still alive, looking out the window, and then all of a sudden, the end of the movie when it shows like all four of them, like they all died or whatever, you're like, wait. So that girl did die? Like when did she die? You know what? I don't get it. Like I guess she got taken off screen, or I don't know. But
you're supposed to assume she got taken there. Like,
also, Abercrombie Tom was the worst fucking character I've ever seen in my entire life. I literally.
You want to come over?
Literally.
So, my parents aren't going to be home.
This whole fucking part of the movie, the main girl is talking to this dude, total cliche jock dude. I was sitting there. He was wearing his leather jacket. And I was sitting there and I'm just like, bro, does anybody even wear fucking leather jackets anymore? Well, I was like, dude, I lettered, and I also like I had a bunch of different accolades and shit to like put on the jacket.
I have a jacket. Did I ever wear it to school? Hell no.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? I never got the jacket.
That was like a 70s, 80s thing, dude. That was like
it is.
Yeah.
I never got the jacket. No, I have the letter.
There's no point.
I have the letter. I have all my accolades and shit, but it's just like at home, like in a box. Yeah. Like I don't need that shit. It's fucking stupid.
You buy the leather jacket, you never wear it, and then the leather just starts breaking. So like what is the point?
I don't know. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so obviously the people cliche used to wear is the guy wearing the leather jacket and all that, whatever. But
It's like he
Jesus.
does sports.
He's the jock. But then fucking, yeah, so they have this little like love story thing going on. And then he goes and tries to ask the girl, you know, for like, hey, we should hang out. You know, they had this little flirty thing. And you would expect like, hey, you know, you trying to go get a drink, or I guess they're in high school. So you want to go get a coffee or something? Oh, hell yeah. Go to a movie, you know, let's go bowling.
Some date. He's like, nah, you want to come over?
This man straight up, want to come over? She's like looking around like, yeah, no,
At
that's
this
great.
point, she's seeing Slenderman while he's talking to her.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah.
He's just like smiling.
He's
like,
yeah. Yeah, girl, you trying to come over? She's just like, yeah. Yeah, no, let's do it. And he's like, cool. See you there.
see you later. She goes over to his house. She's like,
there's not a car in the driveway.
he's like, oh yeah, my dad's gone. He's at a business meeting. My mom's at a club.
Yeah. Mom's at a book club.
So they're not here? No, we got this place to ourselves.
He's like, that all right? She's like,
yeah.
Straight up stops being like, she's just, yo, that's totally fine. They just, dude.
They go over to his couch. He grabs a record.
Bro.
Puts on some music.
Yo.
Sets the mood.
Does this sound good? It's just like a guitar solo.
I could change it.
I could change it if you want.
No, it's okay.
No, it's totally fine. He's just, yeah, girl.
He sits down.
Bro.
And not 2 seconds later, they're just making out.
Well, I gotta be real. You know, when you go and meet a girl, right? You know, you do get to that point where you go over to the house or whatever. They come over to the house. You do kind of start by like, you sit like further away.
Yeah.
Like I don't just
and you
fucking
move closer.
You
and
kind of
closer.
exactly as the
You're
night goes on
at each other, right?
You keep kind of getting closer, whatever. No, he just straight up puts the record on, sits right down, puts his arm around her, and then they don't say a fucking word, and they just boom, just straight up. Fucking like just
they
make
waste
out.
No time.
I guess that's fine. I'd rather not see the whole thing, but
sometimes you want to see the love story.
God, it was so fucking funny though, because like, you know, she starts freaking out. She finally, you know, he starts like wigging out. She's back on her fucking shit. So then he's like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't do anything. And she's like, I know. She's like, I got to tell you something. So she tells him a story about the whole thing. And she's like, yeah, I watched this video. And he's like, oh, well, this video? I want to watch it. Yeah, he's like, this video?
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
He's like, yeah, okay. No, I'm not going to watch it. So then the scene ends, and it's so funny because the next scene they're in class, and it was funny because the whole time I'm like, watch it, dude. Go ahead, watch it, Tom. Like, I just fucking hated the dude. He's such an ass. Just go ahead, Tom. Watch the video. Watch it, Tom. Go ahead. Watch it, buddy. Go ahead there, pal.
Oh, he does.
Sure enough, he does. Another scene cut from the movie.
His scene, though, like, yeah, true. we'll get to that because they go into their biology class. They're dissecting an eye, and she's like trying to get his attention. He looks at her. His eyes are all, you know, droopy. Fucking looks like he hasn't slept in 9 years.
And in case the trashy look like wasn't, you know, in case the tired look wasn't, you know, enough, they put a beanie on him.
I know.
Just to like further the fucking.
I thought that was so funny. It's just like,
make him look more tired.
Wears a beanie.
Never wore a hat the entire time. Let's make him look tired by throwing a beanie on his ass. Not like a cool one either, just like a straight up beanie.
It's just
over
a gray
there.
beanie.
Yeah.
You're like, what? He looks at her. That's the last time you see him in the movie.
Yeah. But the trailer shows that man fucking jumping, like killing himself. He jumps off a fucking bridge or some shit.
And you're like, where is this scene?
Where's the scene? What the fuck happened, Tom? Whatever.
We got by the trailer, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's Sony for you. They put shit in the movie trailers and then you like don't see it in the movie and you're just like, wow, well, where's that scene? Oh, okay. Guess not.
And those were probably better scenes of the movie.
They probably were. Yeah. I guess whatever.
Honestly, don't waste your time on this movie.
No, it's dog shit.
It's terrible.
It's been out for a while, so you probably have seen it.
I thought I saw 2018, so.
Was it 2018?
Yeah.
It was like 2015 or
No, it
14.
said 18.
Who even cares? Fucking ass.
If
movie.
you haven't seen it, don't see it.
The only good thing that came out of that movie was Joey King's career.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of killing it now.
But I think she was doing things even before that movie.
Wasn't she doing like Disney Channel shit?
Yeah.
So, I mean, either way, she's the best part of that movie. So I don't really know. But
Well, good on you, Joey. Way to stick with it.
yeah, the rest of you,
You probably should stop acting.
especially you, Tom.
He sees this. He's like, what the fuck, guys?
What the fuck did I do? I was just playing the douche. I'd be like, you know what? You actually played it beautifully. You played a really good
He comes on the
douche.
pod. He's actually a super nice
So
dude.
he probably is. Like, I'm sorry, man. If you're a nice dude,
We're just bashing your character.
we're just bashing your character. They wrote you a horrible fucking part, man. Heart goes out to you.
It's
bro.
honestly not your fault. You were doing the best with what you got.
Honest to God, that script didn't help anybody. I thought
No.
Joey King nailed that shit. She even had like dog shit lines, but she delivered them good though. You know, like she fucking, when she started losing her mind, that's like when her acting like really was like, okay, yeah, no,
She sold it.
She's good.
She sold it, yeah.
She's good. The main girl, I thought she was kind of cute, but
The acting wasn't like,
it wasn't good.
Here's on par. She was like down here.
Again, the script didn't help anybody.
No.
It didn't, and she didn't go crazy.
No.
Like Joey King did, but I don't know. Ugh.
Not it.
Yeah, so that movie was bad. Best actor in the movie was probably Slenderman. I'd say. Fucking
And we
killed
think
that shit.
we think he did walk by a non.
That was 100% the dude.
It had
There's
to be,
no
right?
because his body was literally as skinny as that. He was tall as shit. Like, yeah, that was 100%. That was the like a cameo from the actor who was playing
100%.
Slenderman. Had to be.
They're like,
Yeah.
here, just walk by in the
Just walk
hospital
by,
scene.
dude. And she'll like freak out.
Creepypastas though, huh?
Yeah.
So
So
want to read more?
if you guys do like the Creepypasta episode, there are so many more that we can dive into. Maybe we'll do another one like this on season 2. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you know of any indie movies that are about, creepypastas that maybe we don't know about, we know the Ted the Caver one and then the Slender 4, I guess.
I'm telling you, there is one other Slenderman movie that I told you about the other day. It's called The Tall Man.
Oh.
It's similar, but it's like spawned off of it. It's not necessarily
So
like his
it's not
origin
Slender,
story.
but it's probably inspired by it.
Well, he
right?
takes children at night. Like that's his whole motive, like the tall man's thing. And he like that's similar, but not like to the fact of where he has tentacles and shit. No, he's just a guy that comes at night, takes your child, and they disappear.
Okay.
That's like the premise. But
I'll have to watch that. I'll have to watch that one.
So,
But all right, guys.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been. What are you looking at, Cal?
Well, I was just making sure we were still recording.
Well, probably not great that you looked right now.
Yeah, probably right. But
Well,
all right,
guys, yeah, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in and listening.
Yeah, and in the words of Abercrombie Tom, have a good night.
Or Jeff the Killer.
Go to sleep. But really. Girl.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.